Hi there guys, Kane back here and welcome to this channel. Today it's all about Christmas and I will share 10 most interesting Christmas traditions around the world. From Sweden to Australia, from Poland to Netherlands, we'll learn it all. So in Norway it's all about brooms and mops here. Well, brooms and mops is not something that naturally comes to mind when you think about Christmas, unless you're obsessively clean. Not sure about how Norwegians are, but for better or for worse, mops and brooms are hidden away during Christmas. Not because people don't want to clean, maybe in some cases it is so, but mostly because Norwegians are actually a bit superstitious and don't want to provide the evil spirits with easy means of transportation. But seriously, who wants witches on brooms in the Christmas sky? No takers? Then keep the brooms away. The lovely Icelandic traditions of exchanging books. This is a tradition that you may want to adopt. In Iceland on Christmas Eve, family exchange their favorite books and they spend the rest of the evening cozily by the fire, reading aloud to each other. Taking breaks every now and then for some sweet treats. Sounds like a perfect Christmas Eve to me. I will definitely introduce this one into my Christmas celebrations. What about you? "12 Apostles, 12 courses meal in Ukraine." Ukrainian Christmas dinner is something very, very special. If you're in Ukraine, as soon as you sit down to a dinner table, get comfortable. Seriously, you may want to stop eating a day or 5 in advance because you're going to be in for a real treat. Ukrainians serve a whopping 12 courses traditional Christmas feast. As there were 12 apostles of Jesus, so there are 12 dishes for Christmas Eve, as to each of them a dish is dedicated. This video is coming to you from Finland, hence I'm enjoying this tradition a lot. So in Finland, there is such a thing as Christmas sauna. As you probably know, Christmas is a chilly time of the year, for most of us anyway, in the northern hemisphere. Snowy holiday, hopefully with a lot of snow, so warming up can be always a very welcome treat. I believe you'll get on board with Finnish tradition of Christmas sauna. Finns have a morning or afternoon sauna. Normally Finns go to sauna in the evenings, but for Christmas Day it's actually morning or afternoon. And this is one of the most cherished traditions in most Finnish families, and I love this tradition. Christmas surfing in Australia. Have you ever seen a Santa on the beach? How about a surfing Santa? No one? I personally haven't. Surfing Santa in Australia. So for Australian, Christmas means surfing. Loads and loads of surfing. While the rest of us freezing up here in the northern hemisphere, speaking of myself at least, it's summer in Australia, hence Santa comes where people are and they are on the beach. He arrives with a surfboard instead of sleigh, and after catching a couple of waves, he comes and joins people for a Christmas barbecue on the beach. Not too bad at all. Christmas shoes of the Netherlands. In Netherlands, Dutch kids leave their shoes next to the fire for Santa to leave gifts in. Some must be fairly small gifts that would fit in a child's shoe. They also leave some carrots for Santa's white horse named Amerigo. Interestingly enough, not a reindeer, but a horse. I kind of thought the reindeers were universal. They weren't. Well, given that in Australia they come on a surfboard, I don't know if anything surprises me anymore. If there weren't enough animals for the Christmas, there we go, we have a goat as well. So Yule goat is a Swedish tradition. There's a bit of it in Finland as well. While we associate Christmas again with reindeer, in Sweden they have a different animal to symbolize Christmas, which is actually a goat. According to historians, tradition of Yule goat or Christmas goat goes back all the way to 11th century. First appearing in Saint Nicholas lore, the figure of goat was used to ward off the devil. In Norway, they hide the brooms. In Sweden, they get the goats, a lot of ways to ward off the evil. Nowadays, it's often seen as ornament in many Christmas trees. That's how they look. They're super cute. Sometimes they have also giant versions. They put them on squares or on yards. A fairly cool tradition. You saw that we haven't mentioned evil enough during the Christmas. Here we go, Christmas monsters. We're back to Iceland, and for most children, Christmas time is the time of their life. Unlimited supply of gifts and sugar, and potentially a nightmare for some of the parents. So to remind kids to behave, in Iceland they came up with the tradition of Christmas police in form of Christmas monsters. I guess they weren't very serious about it, because one of the respectable member of Icelandic Christmas monsters is a Christmas cat. I mean, how scary can a cat be? Good luck persuading your kid to behave with this kind of monster. And we're back to Scandinavia, a wonderful tradition of Saint Lucia's Day. In Scandinavian countries like Denmark and Sweden, Saint Lucia or Saint Lucy is the big part of Christmas. On December 13th, people celebrate this day, which many viewed as the start of the holiday season. In this festivities, the oldest daughter in the family dresses up in an entirely white gown and wears a crown made of twigs, sometimes a crown made of candles. Should be carrying the candles on her head. Nowadays they're, I think, not the actual candles. So this observance commemorates Lucia of Syracuse, the early 4th century virgin martyr who, according to the legend, brought food aid to Christians who were hiding away from Roman persecution. Wearing a candle-lit wreath, she was lighting up her way to leave her hands free to carry as much food as she possibly could. This feast coincided with the shortest day of the year. Prior to the calendar reform, it roughly fell into January 13th, put it this way. Falling within the Advent season, St. Lucia's Day is viewed as a precursor to the Christmas holidays, pointing to the arrival of the light of Christ. Alright, so Christmas Star of Poland. If you remember, in Ukraine, you'll probably overeat during Christmas. In Poland, you might not eat at all. Well, what do I mean by that? You might feel really hungry, but until someone in the family receives a sign from the heavens, it's time to eat. Polish families don't start eating dinner until someone spots the very first star shining in the sky. My question here being, what if it's a very cloudy day? Then you will not see the star, so will you go to bed hungry? If anyone watches it from Poland, let me know if at any point that did take place. But anyway, that's an interesting tradition. You have to see the star, and that would be the sign from heavens that this is time to start the celebration. Only then you can start eating. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Yay! So these were 10 most interesting traditions around the world. Let me know if I've missed something. What were the most interesting traditions for you? What are your favorite traditions for Christmas? Maybe there's some traditions that you would like to adopt, knowing the traditions that I've shared today. For me personally, this is the most magical time of the year for many reasons. Families get together. I love Christmas markets. I love all of the Christmas decorations. I love Christmas markets in Europe. Check out my videos about Christmas markets in Switzerland, Christmas markets in Latvia. I recently went to Riga, so check out those. There'll be a link in the descriptions down below. And yeah, for me, Christmas is the time to spend with family, with my friends. Take stock of the last year, see what resolutions come to fruition and which ones didn't, and plan for the next year, hopefully more successful than the previous one. I'd like to thank everyone who has been watching this channel and supporting me. Thank you so much for that, guys. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful holiday season and wonderful year ahead. Fantastic Christmas celebration and Happy New Year.